Today's guest is CEO and founder of Digital Revenue Media, a performance marketing agency and preferred Facebook partner. Him and his team are experts at driving traffic and creating those conversions to help businesses scale. And he's one of my mentors and one of my dear friends, the handsome Derek White.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course.
So I get to ask you all the questions I want, obviously, because you're my friend and you're my mentor. So I'm always calling you, asking you advice as to what I should be doing in business. What are the new things? I mean, it seems like digital marketing is fairly new and it's changing all the time.
All the time.
Right?
Yeah.
With the algorithms and...
It's constantly changing. It's a fast-moving environment right now.
Yeah. And you guys just became preferred Facebook partner.
Yeah, we've been a Facebook partner for years, but we just achieved preferred Facebook partner status, which is a pretty big milestone for us.
And that's probably the main platform where you are the reason why if I search something, all of a sudden I'm seeing all these ads pop up for something I just searched.
Correct. We are, yeah, we're experts at using data to target users based on interests and things that they are into. And yeah, so we are constantly serving ads for brands through the platform, through Instagram, through Facebook, through the audience network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this could I've seen it, obviously, your clients, you guys are doing amazing because this is the world that we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
It can literally take a company and just absolutely scale it. But it seems like there needs to be a lot of money in order to do that, right? Because isn't there like an algorithm or some kind of an equation where, because I get hit up all the time on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm sure a lot of the audience does now too, because even if you don't have a company, you're a brand, and everybody, they want you to spend money and advertise. So
Correct.
Are you just throwing money away if it's...
Well, in a lot of different channels, you can be throwing money away, so to speak.
If it's not done right.
Well, the thing about performance marketing is that everything is gauged off of a KPI, basically. So you're spending
What's KPI?
A key performance indicator.
Okay.
Basically spending a specific amount of money, and you're measuring your success by return on that ad spend. So everything is measurable, and that's why it's called performance marketing, where there are other channels like influencer marketing, for example. A lot of the times you can't really measure performance on those spends. So it's a channel, performance marketing is a channel where you can really get clear indication of what you're spending and what you're actually bringing back in.
And so once you get the data after a couple of months, then you can get really clear and then things kind of move along.
Yeah, so that's everything that we do is kind of focused on data. It's all data driven. So that's the nice thing about using the Facebook platform or using Google as a platform. They're the two biggest markets for data. And so everything, again, comes back to data. For us, we're constantly in that feedback loop of taking the data that we acquire from our results, plugging it back into the system, learning from that data, and then using Facebook's algorithms or using Google's algorithms to take that data and perform even better in the future.
And also looking at like the type of ads you're doing, like do you notice like currently right now what kind of ads do better? Are they videos? Are they just simple ads? I know there's a lot of restrictions too, right?
There's a lot of restrictions, and there's a lot of testing that has to go into every specific entity's strategy. So some people can run campaigns and still images work better for them. Mm-hmm. Some brands, videos work better for them.
So like tell us like who are some of your clients right now, and like what are you doing with them?
God. So our list is pretty long. We focus on the direct consumer space. We have countless clothing brands, sunglass brands, footwear brands, makeup, beauty. We have celebrity backed brands. we do a ton of stuff. We do the Oscars and the Academy of Motion Arts. Yeah, it's a big one for us. Drew Barrymore and Flower Beauty, Elwood and Affirm and Rachel Roy. Flynn Sky, Neen Bing we did as well. Some luxury jewelry brands, Hors and Moose and Ancestron and Baishari. So it doesn't, the cool thing is we've been able to, it doesn't really matter what the vertical is. The formula kind of works across the gamut. We've been able to figure out how to manipulate algorithms within Facebook for performance, and it kind of all comes back to the same thing, is feeding the algorithm more data consistently. And so that's where it kind of falls back to what you said in the beginning. It takes a lot of money in order to get enough data to feed back to the system, you have to spend a lot of money, right? The more money you spend, the easier success becomes because you're feeding the system constantly more data. The more data you feed the algorithms, the more the AI and the artificial intelligence can learn from that data and know who to go out and get more of in the future.
I mean, it almost seems like, we've both seen companies literally use this and just explode.
Sure, it's a powerful tool. It definitely is the go-to for new user acquisition and scale and growth. The problem is it's only one facet of the equation. The marketing spend, once you start to amplify the marketing spend to bring those new users in, that's when the retargeting campaigns take place and you start to retarget those users over and over again. But you also have to strategize for the growth of the inventory side as well. So it takes significant capital and planning strategically for production, for inventory. That's where we I think we set ourselves apart from a lot of other agencies, is we really get into, 12 years in the space of doing direct-to-consumer, we've kind of seen it all. We've seen all the pitfalls that a lot of companies have. And we've seen, when you start to spend money on the marketing side and you start to scale your campaigns, and their performance is determined by an algorithm, which is just learning from data. You never want to sacrifice your performance of that algorithm by altering your spend level or pulling back on spend. The algorithms are consistently working off of predictability. They're looking for patterns. So when you start to scale a campaign, you never want to pull back on your campaign spend because you've run out of inventory. So where we differ is we dive into predictive analytics, looking at, obviously you can go into your Shopify store and you can look at what you sold the most of this month, right? If you make, 1,000 units of a product and you sell 1,000 units of a product and you look at your Shopify data, Shopify tells you that you sold 1,000 units. Does not tell you that you could have sold 3,500 units if you had 3,500 units in play. So we try to look at, search query data. We look at Google Webmaster Tools and look at what are the monthly searches for that brand's top products. What are those top products? Because most companies have anywhere from 100 offerings to, let's say, 1,000 products in their offerings. But it's usually 4 or 5 products that really move the needle for every company. So determining which products those are, if it's a clothing brand, which size runs, which cuts on tees are the most popular, and then really amplifying the inventory on those products so that you can amplify the marketing spend.
And it gets back to the money.
Yeah.
You need a lot of money to start.
You need a lot of money.
And then,
Yeah, and when we talk about a lot of money, today when we talk to companies and we say, hey, this is what it takes to really play ball on those platforms, Facebook minimum spend is $15,000, $20,000 a month in order to really, and that needs to be sustained for 3 to 4 months. That's if you're an existing brand, you have an existing following on Instagram, you have an existing Shopify store, web store, and you're selling product and you have a customer database over 1,000 names. That's That's kind of your game plan. If you're a new startup, if you're a new brand, it's almost 2 to 3 times that same amount of time to get to the same place.
Right.
Because again, it's all about acquiring the user data. So you have to market to new users. You have to get the feedback from who is clicking through on ads. What sales funnel are they gravitating towards? And then using all that data to constantly feed back to the system.
Yeah.
So if you have an existing thing, it's easier. If you're starting from scratch, it's a lot more difficult. But nonetheless, they both require the same amount of capital monthly to get the ball rolling.
And I think it goes without saying, like prior to starting Digital Revenue Media, you have a shoe lift company, which is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody about it, called Lift Kits.
Yeah.
And it's a little wedge. You could probably explain it better. I always say to people, it's a wedge that I put in my Converse, and they make my Converse the most comfortable shoe on the planet.
Yeah.
You know I'm a huge
fan. I know you're a huge fan. Yeah, that's what kind of was the catalyst to the direct-to-consumer space for me. Almost 12 years ago now that we launched that Lift Kits brand. The idea initially was, to run an infomercial. It was conceived as a $20 product, $19.99, act now, pay shipping and handling, get two. And it was during the era of
prior to the
well, it was infomercial, it was Slap Chop and ShamWow and all these different infomercials that were like, they were crushing it.
Shake weight.
So we tried, shake weight. We tried, and we were able to make the phones ring off the hook. People were definitely interested in the product, but we couldn't get the call centers to manage to actually close the call into a sale. And so after 2 years of continuously testing new call centers, I kind of just said, this isn't working, and how else? People are obviously interested in the product, how else can we close them? And so I was one of the first guys to actually start creating landing pages, that it was a one-page lander, that was a complete sales funnel. It had the same video that was playing on TV, it had the copy to sell the product, and then it sold the products. And so we would drive the infomercials, instead of to a call center, we would drive them to a www landing page.
Straight to the website.
Yeah, and that was the intro to e-commerce for me, and that was, creating custom shopping carts. There were no Shopifys, there were no Magentos and Volusions at that time. And then integrating all that stuff with how to link up with your 3PL. And so we were...
3PL?
Your third-party logistics.
Okay.
Yeah, your warehouse that does all your fulfillment, shipping, and stuff.
Yeah.
So when a lot of brands started to migrate from selling to retailers and try to navigate the waters of direct-to-consumer space, we became a go-to for, hey, we've been down this road before. And after so many years of consulting, it just became evident that we really were adding value, and that's how the agency came about.
And that's the way, straight to consumer is like the way to be right now,
Yeah,
right?
because it's, again, I'm a really big data guy. To possess your own data and your own customer data lists and have the ability to introduce new products, drop an email blast and hit 10, 20, 50,000 people like that, that's powerful. Whereas you sell your brand to stores and they go into a store and they buy the product, and then you don't have that customer data. Same thing with Amazon. You sell your product to Amazon, Amazon sells that product, you don't acquire any of that customer data. So that's a big loss.
And you take a hit.
Yeah, that's a big loss. So we're strong opponents for direct-to-consumer space. And we look at retail as an experience for brands. It's a brand experience rather than a place to acquire the goods.
So it was another form of marketing, like, oh, I see the product, but I'm gonna go home and order it. When I get home, I'm gonna order it online. Because you're gonna retarget them, and they're gonna be on their email, and it's gonna pop up again, and they're gonna be like, oh, I just saw that in the store yesterday.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. So obviously I have a brand, but for the people that have new brands, what are 3 huge tips that would help them right off the bat?
Oh, geez. I mean, the first thing would be, finding a strong source of capital for funding. It really is probably the most important factor in the equation, because if you don't have the money, everything else becomes more difficult.
Yeah.
You know. Secondly, I would focus on quality content, quality products. You know, you can never get around creating a great product. You know, when a product is great, the product speaks for itself. So, you know, if you make one product well, don't try to make 20 other products. Just focus on the one product you can execute well and build an organic following from that core product. Always try and garner reviews and quality endorsements for your products. Those things go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those would probably be the
One more.
things.
I need one more from you.
The third one would be to focus on new user acquisition. And
So what does that exactly mean? Because I'm just starting to learn all your lingo, but I'm sure audience doesn't know what that means.
new user acquisition, so paid for traffic,
Okay.
paid traffic.
So getting those people as customers.
Yeah, so I would steer people away from, you know, I would steer people away from influencer giftings and that kind of stuff,
Why?
and more towards the paid side, because
Interesting.
everything is in repetition, right? So, you know, traditional marketing, out-of-home experience, bus stops, benches, billboards. Historically, somebody needs to see a billboard 8 times before it registers, before it sinks in. It becomes a commonplace in their head. Same thing for marketing online. Somebody needs to see an ad 7 to 9 times typically before they'll click, and they feel comfortable with a brand, and they'll actually make a purchase. So it's about new user acquisition, getting somebody to click on a brand for the first time, click on your ad, dropping a tracking pixel on them so that you can retarget them. And then as an agency, we retarget at a frequency of once a week, right? So we anticipate that we're going to retarget that customer for 7 to 9 weeks before they purchase.
I feel like some people might think you're being annoying.
So
it sounds like I almost feel like you can never do too much. Like,
well, there's a lot of philosophies there,
Yeah.
right? On frequency. It's a big word in our space. I personally feel if I've seen a brand too many times in my Instagram, I'm kind of sick of seeing it. So we feel that, you know, the frequency of we like to stay at 1 to 1.2 times a week. That gives us 4 to 5 a month. It's just enough to kind of stay in front of the consumer and stay top of mind, but not oversaturate them with the brand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You just want to stay in their presence, you know?
What do you think the biggest mistake that brands make right now with digital marketing?
So back to the influencer thing, I think that the tough thing about influencers is that a lot of brands will think, hey, I'm going to pay this influencer to represent my brand and do a post, and it's going to bring me a lot of revenue. I'm going to make my money back, and it's not effective because you're not getting the repetition. Now, if a brand was to work with an influencer specifically,
like in an affiliate program,
Well,
or
not even in
as an
but just even as an ambassador situation or a one-on-one program where they basically say, hey, we're going to give you so much money, but this is what we want. We want you to do 10 posts for us over the course of the next 60 days because you want that repetition, right? You want it to continuously stay in front of their audience repetitively. So that would be the best advice I could give in regards to that stuff.
And I know we've talked about it personally, like we've both seen. I think it depends on the influencer. You know, with my company, like I could have friends that have 2 million and I give them a discount code in like maybe 1 sale, and then I give it to a micro influencer who's a mom and authentically shares her love of the product, and I get 30 sales. And it's very interesting to
it's very, every influencer is unique. They're all, you know, they all have different demographics of who they're following and what kind of content they're posting, and some resonate with their audiences and some don't.
So where do you see digital marketing going? I know it's changing all the time, and you get in on all these secret meetings. That's why I'm always like, what's going on in the algorithms?
Yeah, we do.
Everyone's mad at Instagram right now. Algorithms changing.
Well, you got to remember, Facebook is a publicly traded company. They got to turn a profit every single quarter. The platform was free for years. People would just post organic content, and it would show up in people's feed. Somebody would post a picture. I was following them. You were following them. We would both see that picture in our feed. Today, it's completely different. What you see in your Instagram feed, what I see in my Instagram feed, it's unique to you. It's unique to me.
So it's based on what I'm searching?
It's based on your interest.
My interest.
Cumulatively. So your interests on Facebook, what you've paid attention to, what you've liked, what you've stopped and looked at. Same on Instagram. But it also goes for websites that are not Facebook and Instagram, that are on the audience network. You could be on CNN.com, for example.
I was actually saying this to somebody. I go, you can learn a lot about somebody by looking at just their desktop, what they go to Google or they go to Facebook. Like, what are they searching? What type of personality do they have here?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's, CNN.com, for example, could have a Facebook pixel on their website that allows CNN to serve ads from the Facebook platform. So you could be reading a story on CNN.com, and in the middle of your story is an ad that's pulled from the Facebook platform. Nonetheless, there's still a Facebook pixel on that site that's gathering data on you as a user.
So the pixel, just so everyone understands what that is what pulls the data. How do you explain a pixel?
Pixel is basically it's a little piece of software that
you can copy and paste
follows
into
you.
Different.
Yeah, you can copy and paste the pixel information into your Shopify store and this and that. But on this side of the equation, it's more a pixel that's gathering information for Facebook on Facebook users that are on the audience network's websites. So they're constantly gathering information on you. This is a big thing. Yesterday, Facebook got fined $5 billion.
Oh, did it go through?
Yeah, $5 billion.
Right, for privacy issues.
Violation,
yeah.
So, for the next 20 years, they have to have a board in place to regulate privacy and continue to monitor and make sure they're following the rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot's going to change. So a lot's going to change in regards to privacy. Apple is working on certain things on their products, their new products, to restrict ads from going to people. But there's also more technology that's being developed to kind of counter.
Yeah, do you think there's going to be new platforms popping up? And
there already is.
Yeah.
We're actually working on some proprietary stuff right now where we are layering geo layers. So let's say for example, you go to the gym, you go to Equinox, you go to 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, and then you also go to Mother's Market, and you also go to Whole Foods or Erewhon, right? We now know you're somebody that is interested in health and taking care of themselves.
How are they tracking that on your phone?
Just through geo tracking. So
geo tracking.
So basically everything is already mapped,
creepy.
Right? You can go on Google and you can see an entire map of the entire world, right?
So you're talking about privacy.
Yes.
Wow.
So what people don't read is the fine print and all the apps that they download and use on their phones, right? Last week, everybody was doing this old face app, right?
I don't know why anyone would want to do that, by the way.
But nobody read the small print. They just all download
they steal your face, right?
Yeah,
they
said
have
that
their
they
face
could use,
recognition.
basically in the fine print, it said we can use your face anywhere we want, anything we want to do with it.
Yeah.
Nobody read the fine print until somebody did, and it became a news story. But I mean, everyone was doing it. I saw tons of celebrities doing it. It was, so you're constantly in this loop where people don't read the fine print and they're gathering information. Companies are building apps just to gather data on people. So there's all these loopholes. So, I think consumers are going to start to protect their privacy more, but companies are going to continue to evolve the way that they reach consumers.
And it's vital. I mean, as a company owner, I know it's vital. All Instagram, all these platforms, it's mandatory. I don't even know if you could be relevant as a brand nowadays.
Yeah, it's a brand's lifeline to their consumer audience. And it's good in a way and it's bad in a way. You know, it's good in the fact that now consumers can directly be in touch with the brands they love. But at the same time, there's so much connection.
And it's constantly evolving and it's constantly changing. And I think just staying educated, and if they could afford it, hiring someone like you to just take care of all of it.
Yeah, yeah. You want to outsource to experts that really know what they're doing today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that claim to know. So, you know, that's the one thing I'd say. If you're going to do Facebook marketing, Google marketing, make sure you're aligned with a true Google partner or a true Facebook partner. If you can, get with a preferred partner or a premier partner. That goes for all of them, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, it could be business or personal, whatever you want. What's your golden secret?
Oh, jeez. I didn't see that one coming. I should have. What's my golden secret? Jeez. And lately, I want to say this year, it's kind of moved into just staying centered and staying focused. I've really embraced meditating every day. It's really helped me the past 7, 8 months now, I guess. But the biggest secret I could give anyone is just surround yourself with a strong team. You know, I've really focused on building a strong team around, and it's the best thing is having a good team that you can count on and that you're stoked on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, always look for people smarter than you to surround yourself with.
Absolutely. That's why you're my friend. So digital revenue media, lift kits,
Yep.
Derek White. That's where they can find you on all the platforms.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
We